We do have our first two teams lined up, not on the field yet, but at least in the bracket for the stream, and it's Ballers Esports against Understandable More Keys. Is that More Keys? I wanted to initially say Monkeys, but it's more Keys. So
I wanted to say that as well. Now, I don't know. I have not heard of either of these teams or the players, but round one matches to me are always very fun. You're generally seeing teams that are kind of new to the scene and playing in one of their first tournaments possibly, and it's just exciting to see just their level of play coming out. It doesn't matter whether they're prospects or grand champs, they're coming out and having a good time and putting those skills that they have on display for us. And I know being streamed for the first time this time is always kind of raises your blood pressure a little bit. I know I've been streamed one time and it makes it a little
it's that performance anxiety.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just gotta block it out, pretend it's like any other game. And dude, I know I get performance anxiety sometimes when you know that a bunch of people are watching how you're going to be playing, especially people whose job it is to talk about how you're playing, and then people are going to be listening to those people. It kind of means that you want to make sure you perform as well as possible. Obviously, they already do since they want to win the tournament, get that cash prize, but only one of these two teams will be able to make it, and they are both on the field right now, or at least they will be soon.
Yeah, we'll say soon, TM, because sometimes it takes a while for these teams to actually ready up.
You gotta do the chicken game. Who's gonna get on the field first?
Oh, I never thought of that. Maybe, if you're the first one to join, you're showing your weakness to your opponent. I like that. But as we are waiting, get ready, folks, because tonight is going to be a very, very exciting night of Rocket League, presented to you only by PRL. We are here every single Monday for you. And without any hesitation, the teams are on the field. We're ready to go. The clock's ticking down. Let's get this tourney going.
All right, first kickoff of the night is going to go the way of Ballers Esports, but already Shades moving up to contest the ball and hitting it out into the corner. It goes past Prodigy. Foretrix brings it back out to his teammates. So Prodigy now looking to go for a bit of a breakaway. That goes past two. Counterattack blocked in the middle by Foretrix. So some back and forth, and you can see that Ballers Esports already trying to set up some passing plays in front of the goal.
Yeah, and I also like their decision making, and now you can tell they're playing very smartly. I've seen a couple times where the second man in rotation actually leaves the ball for the back teammate, and it has set them up very well for that offensive pressure. And now they're looking at the defensive side now, so let's see how they can handle this pressure from Understandable.
Understandable has been pretty solid in front of the goal so far. Foretrix actually going too low in that ball. That means Shades is going to keep it, gets it past Prodigy, now wants to bring it up off the top, but Volix sitting on the wall takes it away, and he will actually get past that other defender. They've got Callus still in the goal. Will he be able to get it past? No. Callus moving up to contest, knocks it away. It's a high shot, but Callus is going to have to do it once again. He looks to be kind of the designated goalie for this Understandable team, and if I do say so, oh, never mind. Designated goalie or designated goaler?
That is a tricky one, because I thought the same thing. I thought he was playing all-time goalie, but he makes the wise decision to break out with that ball, saw an opening in the defense, and took advantage of it. Put it far side on that post to keep it away from the defender. Very smart thinking coming out from him, and maybe a little bit of Moy possibly later on, as he's got that Jazer profile pick.
All right, well, Prodigy wants to take a quick hit back at Understandable, but Shades will take the ball away. Prodigy still keeps it back out into the middle, but Understandable wants to maintain control on the opposing side of the field. This one can get hit over towards the other side of the goal. Ball going pretty fast, but now Jake with the interception. Foretrix knocking it back across the goal. Get it out of any kind of scoring range for Understandable. Prodigy looking for the clear, but was a little bit too high, and it's Callis once again bringing in the goals for Understandable.
This is understandably insane. They are playing full-time goalie, and they do have a man that'll rotate back to swing in behind that goalie and let the full-time goalie come out. They're playing some style of Rocket League that you rarely see. So far it's working out, but later on in the tournament, if they keep up this play, it's not going to work out for them. They need to stay with that triangle offensive pressure where you have that whirlpool of aggression in the box, and so far we've yet to see it, but it's paid off for them.
Jake now wants to take this ball high and wide. That's going to be a setup for his teammate. Out Foretrix was right in the way of the shot. This one's going to bounce back out towards midfield. Prodigy gets it to Foretrix, who's now battling with Jake on the wall, and Prodigy able to hit it in. So Ballers Esports answering back off of these passing plays that finally worked out.
And very good on them, keeping all three players up in the zone. Kind of scratching my head at how Understandable let that go in when they do have that full-time goalie. They should never have to worry about the rotation going back. So they're going to have to work on that if they want to stick with the full-time goalie.
Now he is in the goal with Ballers Esports having the ball on the orange zone for what seems like the 10th time this game. They do get another shot on the goal. Volix now moving in. Callis in front, and he has performed his job admirably with yet another clear to his name. Hits it out to midfield. Already got Shades down on the side, but Volix gets in between the pass, brings it back on the attack. Now it's going to go over a couple more people, but his team not as fast to the ball as Shades, who now clears it away. And so Ballers Esports, well, never mind, that is another great setup. Volix, the one receiving the pass from Foretrix, and just like that, they've tied it up.
So Baller Esports really did a great job of putting pressure on that goalie. Whether it was a disrupt or a bump, they did a great job putting that goalie in an uncomfortable position. And what that did was completely throw off Understandable. They were scrambling that entire time, unable to get comfortable with how they want to play this game. And if Baller Esports can keep this up and keep them in that uncomfortable spot, they're going to take this game easily.
They have pressure once again. Callis knocks it out from the side. Now we've got Shades trying to take it. Jake here in the back, and that whirlpool of aggression is swirling right now for Understandable. As Shades takes it off the wall. This one's going to be right up in front of the goal, but Volks with a high hit towards the ceiling, clears it all the way back out to Callis, who now centers it once again. Everybody from Ballers Esports at the center line, though, and they have just had so much presence in the orange zone right now that Ballers Esports really, or rather Understandable, hasn't really been able to find anything other than just a couple counterattacks.
Well, when you're trying to play 2v3 in the offensive zone, it's going to be so hard to create opportunities for yourself. You're unable to put that offensive pressure on. The defense is able to sit back very comfortably and just essentially dig their heels into the dirt and stand their ground, because they don't have to worry about that third man flying in to clean up the pass, double touch, off backboard. You know, you don't have a lot of opportunities when you're only sending two in that zone. They need to change it up right now if they want to win this game.
Right, and they seem to be more concerned with not giving up the goal at this point. You got Callis still sitting back in the goal as the clock ticks down to just 7 seconds left, but the ball is going to be close. Prodigy, no, it's going to be Foretrix with the chance to hit it back, floating up in the air, and they're content to just hit it back towards the ground. So first game is going to lead us into overtime, and this time the pinch goes towards the side of Ballers. Will they be able to clear this out? Couch wants to go up in the air, but actually both people are going to miss it, so Shades off the wall, but his teammates have already gone back to collect some boost.
This hesitation style of gameplay is just absolutely killing me. I can see so many openings that they have and possibilities of shots on net. Like this one is going to be super dangerous.
Oh!
And the bounce shot, but what a save coming in. And the pressure's still on, but Understandable gives themselves a little breathing room.
And a demo coming out on Jake. Ballers Esports, I think, thought that was just going to go in. Nobody really came to give it that last little love tap, and so Understandable had the time to knock it out of the goal. Now they've got the ball in front. And, oh, no! That is not how you want to lose overtime.
Essentially turning it into a 2v2 match, and as you know, in 2v2s, the field is essentially your oyster. You can do anything. It's more of a ones match, and why you're trying to play a threes match with only 2 in the offensive box, I don't know. They got game 1. We'll see if they can get game 2 as it's just underway.
That bounced right off the crossbar into Prodigy, but he wasn't able to line it up for a shot on net, and so now everybody from Understandable bunching up here to try and defend against the unrelenting pressure of Ballers Esports. Shades does a nice job of hitting it away in the air, but it only goes to midfield, and Prodigy right there to start taking control once again. A couple soft hits from Jake is not going to be enough. Volix hitting the ball again, and so far Prodigy hasn't been able to find it in the air, and this may actually open it up. Volix is back in the goal. Shades and Jake are trying to bounce it back between each other, but yet, another offensive opportunity missed as Shades just whizzes by.
Gosh, and I really hope they change this up, because from what we've seen from Callis, he's a great offensive player, so why they're forcing him to just sit back in the defensive end and kind of essentially handcuff him, it makes no sense to me. Baller Esports doing a great job, though, of making saves like that, keeping their spacing, and looking for passes across the box laterally. They're going to strike, and it's going to happen soon.
Yeah, and that may have been the best shot and best save that we've seen out of both of these teams all game. But right now the goal is vulnerable. Callis comes through high to knock it back into the corner. Foretrix still looking to get this ball into a position for one of his teammates to follow up. They've got all the boost they could want now as they're trying to fly through. Volix uses a bit of it to reposition himself, but Shades get the nose of his car on the ball, looking to set himself up, but actually just hits it back to Callis, who has moved through from the goal. Prodigy brings it out across the front, a dangerous play, but there was no threat from anybody from Understandable as they had fallen back a bit. And Callis so far has been playing a little bit farther up, moving out of the goal tentatively a few times.
Yeah, and I've noticed Baller Esports playing a little bit more hesitant, if you will. Maybe they're scared. They realize it's a best of 3. They're down 1 game. If they do lose another, they're out of the series. But where they were excelling was with their aggression, and they need to keep that up. They can't fall into the game that Understandable wants them to, and that's that slow-paced kind of defensive style of game.
Right, because even in a 2v3, they can set up some unexpected angles, find the plays if you let them have enough time. Attacking the ball, pushing it into the zone. That's where they found their goals in the last game with a couple well-placed passes, and now you're going to be put on the defensive as Callis has actually come up to midfield, not moved back into the goal just yet. It's going to be Jake coming all the way from the corner to hit this one back to Foretrix. Now it's up in the air. Shades can't get high enough, so it sails to the opposite side of the field. And I think this is where Ballers Esports really has the advantage over Understandable. They're a lot more precise in their passing, it seems.
They are, and they're doing a great job with their clears as well, trying to keep them away from Understandable. They're clearing with a purpose. They're either hitting it to the opposite side of the field, or they're hitting it to a teammate where they can get that hard boom shot and just give themselves that breathing room, reduce that pressure, and really put Understandable in an uncomfortable spot, because they just do not look comfortable back there on defense.
One saving grace is that Callis has been a monster in front of the goal, denying almost everything. That one going to be off the post. Was a nice attempt by Jacob. Just couldn't quite get the angle, and that pass was beautiful, weaving it through the defenders right in front of the goal.
And what a clear from Foretrix. He saw Prodigy, hits him on a dime. He doesn't even have to stop for that outlet pass, and Prodigy passing it right into the box for the waiting Foretrix, and there it is, the one goal advantage with only a minute remaining. Make that 2.
This is the classic double boost grab that leaves midfield completely open off the kickoff, and Foretrix just gets an easy goal.
Yeah, and if you're going to send both of your back defenders for boost, and you are the man on the face-off, you have to be certain that you can place that ball wherever you want. You either need to shoot it left or shoot it right. You cannot just let it die right in front of you and let that opposite player take the ball right from under your nose and put it into the net.
Well, Callis has finally taken things into his own hand, gets fourth shot on net for Understandable. This could actually be a good opportunity for a counterattack. Can Jake get it in? No, just goes right off the crossbar. Had the goal completely open. As Ballers Esports had overextended, but they weren't able to get the angle, and so now they still find themselves down by 2 with 20 seconds left. Shades looking to make a play. Callis can't afford to be in his goal right now, but he is, and now they'll have to defend against Volix trying to move it in. Now it's Prodigy with the third attempt. Shades finds the save, but this goal is going to seal it, I think. Attack after attack from Ballers Esports, and they found life in the last minute to take a 3-0 lead.
And what's bizarre, you called it out, Callis sitting back in net. There was 25 seconds on the clock, down 2 goals. At that point, you pull your goalie. You play just like hockey, and you put as many offensive players on the field as you can. You cannot sit back and keep playing 2v3 when you're down, because now this is going to game number 3, and in my eyes, the advantage is all in Baller Esports' field.
I think it definitely is. The style was starting to fade away at the beginning of the first match, and they got a little lucky on that overtime goal to pull them out of it. But Ballers Esports really took control here in Game 2. That last minute came alive with their style. Understandable wasn't able to find any openings. They had 4 shots and just nothing doing. Callis he moved up a couple times, but wasn't able to make the same kind of plays where he exploited the mispositioning of Ballers Esports. They had one chance there at the end with 30 seconds and weren't quite able to get it done. But other than that, Ballers, a solid defense that just Understandable is never able to make it through.
And I'm fairly certain that Understandable was probably born after me, and this song came out before I was born, but I need them to listen to The Clash before this next match. Should I stay or should I go? And if you're going to stay in net, you're going to lose this game. You need to go, go, go. Put on that offensive pressure, and do not let Baller Esports just pound those shots on your end.
All right, well, they've got about 5 seconds to finish that song. Actually, just 3, because we are already at the kickoff of our Game 3, and Shades takes it right past his opponent on the other side, but they don't actually want to try and pressure it. It is going to get pinched off into the opposite corner. Prodigy wants to try and take it off the wall, but jumps a little bit early, so just gets a very soft and loving touch on the ball. Jake's going to come through with a bit of a harder one. Foretrix sitting in front of the goal, knocks it back out into the corner where Callis is waiting. Now turns into a pass to Jake. This one maybe towards the front, but Foretrix gets around the back. Jake with another hit. It's in front of the goal. All 3 people bunching up. Couple got caught in the back. Can they find the angle? Shades in front of it. So far, Ballers doing a great job of just ping-ponging this ball out from the goal, and just having these 2 people here, like you have harped on, is really hampering Understandable. And they had a close call even on the counterattack with 3 people in front of their own goal.
Yeah, they did do a great job to kind of put that pressure at bay, but I would like to see them use a little bit better communication. All 3 players were going for that ball. Kind of a bit of panic when they don't need to panic at all. They're only facing 2 opponents at all times, essentially, in their defensive end. So use your comms, guys. Make sure you're not sending double commits. And there it is. Keep putting that pressure on, and great rotation from Prodigy in the middle of the box. Reading that shot from Foretrix, way to cut in and put that shot right above Callis.
That seems like a bit of a savable shot, but Foretrix really got, or Prodigy rather, really got the mustard on it, and so maybe Callis just didn't have the reaction time, or maybe the positioning to get up in front of that ball. But Jake will sail past this one in the air, and that's going to be Foretrix once again hitting it through. Callis knocks it away, but a weak touch means that they
pass.
still have an opportunity to pass. Unfortunately, unseen by Foretrix, who goes back to collect the boost, and now it's going to be Prodigy to Volek. Callis once again zooming in front of the goal for a save to keep it just a 1-goal lead for Ballers Esports.
Oh, and when I was calling out that pass, I was really hoping that he was screaming on comms saying, turn around, because you could tell he was on free cam. Didn't have that ball cam on the auto cam, which helps out to find the ball and track it down. But they still have that lead. We're still in the first half, and so far I'm loving what I'm seeing from Baller Esports, and Understandable has yet to change their gameplay from game one, and it is hurting them.
Well, he's looking to ride this one down from the air, but there were a couple of defenders right in front of the goal ready to take it away. Callis blocks it, as he should be blocking all of them. That is his job, apparently. And Volek's hitting the ball towards Jake. This one's going to get contested by Shades. Might actually find the hit. It's actually Jake coming through once again, a little bit off to the right, or it may have gone in the goal, but the post says, no, thank you. I'll just give this one back to my team. The blue post, the fourth player, Jake, now bringing it over to Voleks. And Jake and Shades are good at playing aggressive, but it just feels like they're playing with their hands tied.
They are, but at this point it really doesn't matter because their three-man rotation is making sure, oh, baby, that's a bar down. Defender couldn't get up in time. And just great shot placement from Shades, flying in.
That was right from midfield, and one of the few times that the defense of Baller Esports couldn't get it done. And really, they had a good chance to crossing in front of the goal. This one also going to be close, and Shades, what are these goals he's getting?
This was just a complete communication breakdown. Prodigy should have 100% left that for Voleks. Unfortunately, neither one voiced first, and there it goes, an own goal. Minute 45 to go. They definitely have the ability to come back from this one. They just need to start amping up that pressure as the seconds tick down.
Well, it would be a pretty tough loss getting taken away off of that after that third goal in game one as well. So they're going to be feeling a little bit of fire under their tires right now, and that was a sick play, but just a little bit too high from Prodigy. He had the shot on the goal, forced Callis out from the net, and they just couldn't quite get the goal, but they've still got a minute left to try and tie this one up. Prodigy moving out right now, but this ball floating up in the air, going to take a while to come down, and each precious second that goes by is less time they have to try and keep themselves in this series. Prodigy now wants to take the ball away from his teammate. Voleks is here for the setup. Ball might go a little bit past him. Jake and I believe Callis both going up to try and knock this away. The defense seems to be running all over each other, but the offense was split apart. Foretrix is in front of the goal, so that pressure won't mean much. Can he get this past Callis? It's going to be off the crossbar. No. Voleks, no, that was your shot. Callis moved out. In 24 seconds, they have about one opportunity remaining as the time ticking down for Ballers Esports.
Oh, ticking down, and we're getting into the last 15 seconds. They had their opportunity. Let's see if they can find it again. All three commit from Understandable. This is their chance. Prodigy on net, and he finds it to tie it up with less than 10 seconds to go.
This is so clutch. Prodigy getting it done. 4 people in the air, and he's the one to find the touch on the ball. That boost giving him the momentum to just rocket it past all of the defenders, and we are all set to go into overtime unless we can find some literal last-second heroics from Understandable. They've got it in the air. Jake doesn't even want it, and he will spike it to the ground. Whew. All right.
First overtime of the day, and what better way than game 3. Game 1 was overtime. Yep. Yep. I am entirely smart, and I pay attention to every match.
All right. Game 1, game 3. We've got more overtimes than regulation games at this point in the tournament. And now Voleks could almost have a chance for a breakaway, but Shades corrals this one in the corner. Now going to hit it almost over the top of Prodigy. Got a piece of it, but it will still be in the blue zone. Hit up in front of the goal. Shades here, but doesn't have the angle on his car to knock it back. And so Volix bringing it in for the boys in blue. Prodigy a little bit too low is Jake. Nice job of playing keep away. Well, actually, a demo onto Shades could be big. Foretrix bringing it around for his teammate. Cows can't quite get there. Now it's going to be another one from Prodigy, but the bounces just aren't quite happening here for Ballers Esports. They had some good setups. Right now, the defense holding for Understandable.
Oh, but I don't know how much longer it can hold.
Oh, no!
Oh, wow! Where did the defenders go? All three trying to be Spider-Man, and last time I checked, there's only one Spider-Man in the Justice League, but it's just the way the cookie's going to crumble.
And Shade coming up huge. Shades even hit all 3 goals for Understandable in that game.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Really, they were almost all solo efforts by Shades. He kind of just came through and took the shots when he saw them, got them past the defenders, and that was, it was enough to get it done. It was close.
So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this